So where should I see the live?
Can't do it. We'll do it live. Okay. No, we'll do it live. Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
I wish I knew how to fade that so it didn't just stop. Oh well, that's how it goes.
That happens. So we're live, right?
Yeah, we're live.
Hey.
What do we got going on here?
We are live.
We can never do an audio version because no one knows what's going on.
That's fine. They'll get over it. They'll learn it's the charm of the show. So I'm finishing my coffee before I get to my beer. And these guys can't see me because my camera's messed up. So...
we got to put up with your ugly thumbnail for the next hour or so.
Well, it's kind of weird now because now you don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I don't like this. It's kind of creepy.
That is very strange.
Nick's out there. He's got himself a little bonfire going.
Look at how romantic this is.
This is.
Which is extra creepy.
That's the noise.
Oh, I can see you. I'm on YouTube. Never mind.
Alright, so where do I find the live link on YouTube real quick?
You posted the link, didn't you? I sent it to you.
Yeah, but I'm on my computer, so I'm on your YouTube channel.
It should say live stream or something.
Doesn't say nothing about no live stream here.
That's he spent years here perfecting his American accent.
Down there, told you.
So, okay, so we'll give people some background. Joe is originally from England, but nobody here could remember that. So, actually, the story goes back the year before. Chris Birch came over from England, and nobody could remember where he was from, so we started calling him Frenchie. So then I literally get a Facebook message, maybe MySpace. Was it MySpace?
No, it was MySpace. It was pre-Facebook, I think.
Okay, so I get a MySpace message from this other kid like, hey, I know I'm from England. I know Chris Birch. He said that if I want to go over to the U.S., you were a good guy to talk to or whatever. So I was like, yeah, come on over. So literally we messaged back and forth 10 times? And then...
Yeah, probably not.
And the first time I see him, this guy's flown all the way across the world to come over and just hang out for 2 months.
Yep, pretty much.
I just watched this whole story on YouTube because I didn't have a clue. I thought you were just some Australian guy who trained riders. And then I watched your...
That's pretty much it now, but there was quite a Clint.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't have a clue what was going on, but now I watched that. It was an interesting story.
Nick literally is just he's the prima donna of the show. He just hangs out and waits for and drinks beer all week and waits for showtime. And I gotta line these guests up and figure out this shit on the computer. And Nick's just like, are we,
I don't know.
Are we on? Hey, are we on?
Yeah, man, it's the talent. You got to do all the background.
That's right.
Work, but that's why your face don't go because he's the talent, and
we were I was last week. I'm not gonna make it home. I had to go down to Texas, get some stuff, furniture and stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna make it home. And he just writes, good. I didn't feel like doing it anyway.
I did. It was a long weekend.
That's all I got back.
Thanks for the motivation.
I think Clint brought me on just so I could run all the fucking technical stuff because I tricked him into thinking I was good on computers.
Right.
I haven't had time.
I never even asked you to do any of that. I thought you were going to be
You
young.
hinted at it.
No, I just said that while we do the show, you need to research stuff, like how old everybody is. Did you look up how old Joe is?
Sure I did.
We Google how old everyone is that we talk about.
Well, I'm always
we like to make ourselves depressed that we're way older than all of them.
Yeah, how old are you now, Clint? Are you like 40 yet?
37.
Dang.
Yeah.
How old are you, Joe?
I'm 29. I'm nearly 30 in a few months here.
Shit.
So to put it in perspective, I think I was 19 when I flew over to meet Clint.
Oh man, I wasn't giving you drinks underage, was I?
So let's say no. I think one of your first comments to me when I got in the van was like, so you like, do you do this or do you do that? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know what to do with this right now. I'm in some stranger's van in Atlanta.
I learned you gotta
that's
just
awesome
break
way to
people
get picked
in.
up in America.
I learned
Yeah.
you gotta break people in right off the bat, otherwise.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like you needed to know what you was dealing with. If I was like a boring kid or a weird kid, or looking back on it now, I would have been like a kid. I was young.
Yeah, what year was that?
2007.
I was 27.
Yeah, that's right.
Damn, that was 10 years ago.
No, I know it's 10 years since I come out, man. Like nearly 10 years. It was the end, like the middle end of 07 is when I first came out.
This just got depressing for me.
Why?
How old are you?
I just went through my whole career real quick in you guys' story. I'm what am I? 33.
And then what do you mean?
I'm catching
How
up to Clint.
You're never gonna catch up.
Trying.
'Cause I'm never gonna die, Nick.
I'm impressed you haven't after the last couple of years you've had.
Yeah, they sucked.
Yeah, like that FEMA was horrible.
Well, so yeah, the whole deal sucked. It wasn't necessarily just a femur. It was a culmination of everything. Nick was there for that one. Nick's the first thing I saw when I actually came to and remember anything.
So Nick's clearly a good luck charm. Like
Yeah,
the show.
yeah, very, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
Shh. You're gonna blow it for me.
When I actually like clipped back in, he was standing next to my bed in the hospital, and I was just like, he was just like right there next to me. I'm like, hey, oh, what the fuck?
Just breathing heavy on Clint.
I'm pretty sure, literally, I just go, look at him and go, what the fuck did I do?
yeah, that crash looked pretty horrid.
I don't remember. I don't know.
I'm not surprised you pretty much body slammed the landing.
There's claims that the front of the landing is actually bent down.
Yeah, I believe that. You're a big boy.
I don't know that could have been just from me. I mean, I feel like people have cased the safety probably before with their motorcycle.
Oh, okay, there you are. I'm watching the show live, and you're on the screen.
There I am. There you go.
Yeah.
Is it in sync?
No, it's pretty far behind, I think.
All right, good. I was making sure I had at least as good internet as Australia.
He's got good Australian internet. So,
is anybody else cutting out on their end?
No, I'm good.
what are you doing? Watching the feed? Or are you talking about your camera watching us?
No, just like your voice is kind of cutting out when you talk. It don't matter. Keep going.
Oh, I forgot you can't see me. I'm shaking my head no.
This is good practice for the audio version only.
Yeah. All right, hold on. Let me grab a beer, and then we'll get into it.
Okay. I'm going to do a little Insta post here, try and get some people watching this thing.
I go do a stunt in the background, or I can get on the roof and drink or something.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to top the show you guys did the other week. I caught a bit of it where you had the guy catching the ball behind his back, standing on a bike. I thought that was pretty
Yeah. Dude, mid-podcast, he went and did a seat surfer. It was fucking awesome.
Oh, Scranny. We lost Joe's camera. We lost your cameras. Right now,
I'm doing an Instagram post, so it might have gone.
Oh, okay. That's fine, though, because it says JS, and we can pretend like we're talking to Jeremy Stenberg.
You see that the text I sent you?
Yeah.
You liked the post talking about we were talking to Joe tonight?
He did.
He's a big fan of
Yeah.
Joe. He's a big fan of Joe.
We share the same initials, so that's what it is, you know.
Yeah.
He Googles his own initials all the time.
It comes up. Oh, this guy must be rad. Alright, cool. Just did a little Insta story. Let's see if we can get some Aussie. It's tough during the day over here, so everyone's probably at work and doing stuff that I should be doing, like getting stuff done.
Australians don't work, do they? I thought they just drank.
Oh my! Oh, they do that. They do a lot of that too, but they got to work before they drink, or drink while they work. But either way.
Yeah, Joe won't drink with us, Nick. He says it's too early. It's 11 o'clock there.
That's lunchtime basically.
Yeah, but I have a whole day to do today.
What do you have at lunch, Nick?
Besides beer,
Yeah.
I eat a sandwich. Watch your day take off when you have a beer right now, Joe.
Yeah, it doesn't take off. I'm not a seasoned drinker anymore like I was when I lived with Clint. So if I have a beer at lunchtime, I need to go have a nap because I'm getting old, you know.
It'll get better as you get older.
No, I'm with him. If I have a beer and stop, I'm taking a nap.
But if I drink every beer,
I have to drink all the beers or none.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't party anymore. I can't handle hangovers. Like I tell people stories about back in the day, and I'm like, I don't understand how it was achievable.
Yeah, no. I rode so many shows where I'm like, I'd have like 6 beers now, and I'm like, oh, fuck. I had that plus 6 shots. And the next day, I rode at like 8 in the morning. I don't know.
Yeah. That's how I did half your contest, Clint.
I'm sure.
I seriously remember watching guys like JJ. Like I tell the story to everyone, it would be like they would be so hammered the next day before practice that we'd set the ramps up, get them distance, do our whole practice, and they'd wake up and be like, "All right, is the ramp set up?" You'd be like, "Yeah," and they go out and do like jump, flip, pull over, spew up, and then they'd be like, "All right, cool, I'm ready for tonight."
Yeah. Dude, I'm sure I've told this before, but we did a circus, and I'm sure they did it to fuck with us. We drank seriously until, I don't know, 3 in the morning. They call us at 8. They say, hey, you guys got to get in here and practice. So we practice, everything's good, and then when I come back to do the show, I don't even there's marks on the floor. Other than that, I have no idea what I did. I'm just like, I might as well not even have practiced at all because
I don't even remember how to hit the ramp.
Yeah, I don't remember how I jumped this earlier. I was obviously still drunk. But we survived.
We should probably ease up on these stories in case any of the guys I train and tell not to drink and eat.
Well, they're racing.
Yeah, well, ask them, like, just tell them how much Nick and Clint ride anymore.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey, they don't know who either one of us are from riding. So that should be a good indicator of...
an indication of where that gets you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's different. It's so different. I mean, I'm friends with a lot of the freestyle guys over here still, and it is a completely different lifestyle.
Yeah, but they've calmed down a lot as far as, like, leading up to events and stuff, at least. It wasn't
it's not like
we
it used
were.
to be, you know, but it's still, you're still on tour, you know?
Yeah, for sure. You know, you get used to that stuff. It's muscle memory. It becomes normal. And then I've just gone solely on, okay, my body remembers how to do this because I've done it so many times a lot.
What, drinking or riding?
Riding. The funny thing is, I'm not even the big drinker out of my friends. Like J-Ro and Kavanaugh and Nick. Nick only weighs like 100 pounds though, so.
Yeah, it doesn't take much. It's just like a couple wine coolers and then I'm set.
Wine coolers.
But J-Ro will put away a 12-pack on his own. And do every weird bomb, like Vegas bomb and everything else.
Anything with vodka.
Anything with vodka and some kind of energy drink.
That muscle memory works until your body just sometimes just forgets. And that's when maybe Joe Stevens would come in handy and your training would kick in and you wouldn't fucking get wadded up so bad.
No, you just want to be in shape so you don't get as hurt.
I could probably train you guys to be better drinkers. Be like Beer Fest. We could just do a Beer Fest, preparation camp.
All right, let's do it.
That's what I needed. Like when we were going to do that reunion last year, do you remember when I was coming over to go to Cali?
Yeah.
And they were trying to organise everyone to go to Durham town. I'm like I'm saying to my missus, I'm like, if I go down there for the weekend, like I really need to start practicing now because I won't be able to function for a week after it.
Yeah. J Rose still running it like that. I just saw him not too long ago. He's still running it hard.
Yeah, he lived for it, man. He loved to party.
Circus life got a hold of him too.
I'm pretty sure
so what is that? Those guys do the circus now, like Ray and J-Ro and that?
Yeah, the Universal Circus.
Is that like the new IFMA? It's the thing everyone does?
Wow. Yeah.
Kinda,
and everybody was... Think about this. Everybody was mad when they went to ramps. Now they're jumping at circuses.
Yeah, it seems... I don't know, man. It's like over here, freestyle's pretty much dead. Like if you're not on Nitro, there's maybe there's a couple other crews that you can somewhat make a living from what I can tell. But I don't know, it seems the same over there now. Like there's everyone's going to China, going to Asia, whatever they got to do to make money.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
But, I mean, if there's a paycheck jumping anywhere, you got to take it, I guess.
Yeah. See, I say this all the time. The freestyle is like stripping, and it's just too easy to go make a couple grand. Just gotta shake.
That's why they go so synonymously together, isn't it?
You gotta just shake your ass a little bit, make yourself a little bit of change.
When I did my taxes, my tax lady's like, "There's only one other person I can even compare to this tax return, and it was just the stripper." She's like, "I don't know how to put this all together because nobody else gets paid like that."
See?
Yeah, it's sporadic at best.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, this is Clint talking to us, or?
Go ahead.
So you are living in New Jersey now.
Yeah.
So you like on Jersey Shore now?
No, I got no hair to slick back.
No, but you could definitely run a muscle top. I could just picture you fist bumping in the club.
Dude, well, I'm going to go down the seaside this weekend, right where that shit was filmed. And I'm going to fucking have some shots and do my laundry or whatever.
Do my laundry.
I hated those type of people. Listen, before I even moved away, and that was even a thing, I fucking hated those people. And the super bad Guidos, and listen, I know and I'm friends with a bunch of them because it's inevitable around here. But I wasn't super, like, the ones like that wanted to fight all the time, obviously I wasn't friends with. Then, that shit happened to come out about the same time I started traveling around, so then that was it. Every place I went, that I told them I was from New Jersey, that's the first thing out of their mouths. I was like, thank you. Thank you on TV.
It never gets old, same with me. Whenever I still travel heaps now, but the accent, pretty much, I sound Aussie enough that I don't really get questioned over here anymore. But, where you from? It's like, English. It's like, it gets old.
Why? What do they say?
Yeah, is it more Aussie than English or what?
My accent? Yeah. I mean, I had like an American twang going on at first when I was over there for a couple of years with Clint and that, and then...
Joe's an accent shapeshifter.
I'm a chameleon.
He's an accent shapeshifter. He'll gain wherever he's at. He'll gain that accent in like 2 weeks.
I get that though. You go down south and then you start getting a twang to it, and I'll come home and Christy would correct me.
y'all.
Well, the thing I don't get is this: is like, you know, I don't understand. I've got English friends over here and stuff, and it's like nothing against them. But why would you move across the world and then spend 10 years somewhere and sound exactly the way you did before you moved? Like, you're not blending into where you live. You know, you're not taking on the culture. You're not embracing a better place to live. You know what I mean? So it's like, I could sound like I did where I grew up, but it's not going to help anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you could get more pussy if you sound different. Come on, Joe.
I'm a happily settled man, Clint. I don't need to worry about that anymore.
Did you get an Aussie chick, or did you get what? You're married then?
No, I have an Aussie chick. Yeah, Aussie chick.
Yeah. See, the accent worked at some point. And
Can she outdrink you?
What's that?
Can she outdrink you?
Yeah, for sure. 110%. But yeah, like the other thing is also like with the, you know, like I did TV for the last 3 years. It's kind of hard to be doing that sort of stuff. And if I was to talk how I talk when I first met Clint, I don't even think the Aussie fans would be able to understand me.
Really? What were you doing on TV?
I do the MX Nationals over here. We did the live broadcast.
Oh shit!
show.
I've watched that. Did not know that was you.
That's me. NRG TV.
See, I didn't do that much research. I did like a little bit.
Where did you watch that, Nick?
Huh?
Where'd you watch that?
You can't get anything online because you don't know how to use the internet.
It's
Well,
a live stream show, so I don't do it anymore. I had to stop this year because of the race team I'm running, but yeah.
Damn.
But to finish the point is like, yeah, I don't know. I just don't get the whole. You move on from a country, you don't keep it. I don't try to lose it. I don't try to keep it. I just whatever, you know.
You haven't learned anything by the news, have you? You're supposed to move someplace and enforce your views. Hey,
yeah,
take a drink.
Who I don't want to be.
Clint always gets political.
Yeah, it's his age.
So I said I'm catching up.
You drink some of your coffee, Joe. Train's going by. Be respectful.
This is
rules.
tea right here.
Oh, he's having
tea.
tea.
It's not even caffeine.
Hey, there is nearly more caffeine per gram in tea than there is coffee.
What tea? Black? Green?
Yeah, black. English bread, green. Green sends you to sleep.
I don't know. We're American, dude. We got herbal teas and shit.
Chamomile. Guys, look, it's black. It's black tea, English breakfast tea.
All right.
And that's the problem over there. You ask for like, you go to breakfast and you're like, yeah, can I get a tea? And they're like, oh, do you like herbal tea? Do you want this tea? I'm like, nah, I just want tea. And they're like, do you want honey? Do you want cream? I'm like, nah, man, I just want tea.
Here, if you want tea, it's to like open your pores or something.
Sweet tea. They used to give me that stuff too.
Have you ever? Yeah, you can't trap like where I'm at. You ask for an iced tea, they usually give you a normal iced tea. You go down south, and you're instantly in like diabetic shock because they just dumped a cup of sugar in it. Fucking
I bet it's more than a cup.
Like, I don't drink soda, man. Get me a sweet tea.
Yeah, they're like, I'm pretty sure they'll do like a gallon or two and add seriously like 2 or 3 cups of sugar to it. I'm not even joking. It's so much sugar.
I remember.
So what do you do on a daily basis, Joe?
So today I've got to go to basically, so we have a lot of different things going on with the program. So I have a mechanic that has a maintenance contract and does all our motors and suspension for the race team. So this weekend we have our juniors, what you call amateurs in the States. We have a state race. So that is right by my house. So I've got to basically take, I think, 4 or 5 rear wheels to our mechanic. He's got to fit sand paddle tires because it's a big sand track we're racing at on the weekend. So I'll do that, and then I'll go to one track with one of my pro guys for a little bit, and then I got to go to another track tonight with one of my off-road guys and just do a bit of training with them and watch them ride, and then normally I'd be in the office where I'm in the office right now, but I'd be doing, emails and parts orders and everything else, but pretty much just running the ship, I guess you'd say.
That's pretty sweet. So you guys got a rig and everything? Do the amateurs?
Yeah.
Do you have an amateur and a pro rig, or is it the same rig?
No, so we have a pro rig. We have it's like a 13-ton truck with a tailgate, and it's sort of like an in between. This is like the biggest truck you can get before you get a semi truck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
13 ton, is that like a 2500?
Yeah. I don't know what that would be in the States, but it fits like 8 bikes in it, all the parts, all the water, and that thing goes around the country. But the problem we have with the amateur venues is that they don't have a lot of hard standing, pit space.
Mm-hmm.
So we run the risk of getting the truck bogged if we take it to the amateur events. So we normally just take. I've got what you guys call like a pickup truck. I got a ute here the ute in the trailer, and we use that for the amateur guys, and they have like 3 or 4 pit tents set up, and just have everything set up that way.
You should you should just run the big truck, get a winch, and all be tires.
Well, Forbian is pretty big over here too. They love all that. It's kind of like it is in Georgia with the mud bogs and mud drags and stuff.
Yo, in Guyana, that's just life. That's just getting to the fucking market.
Just getting dinner.
Yeah, they're like, listen, I gotta go to the next town. That's gonna be a 2-hour mud bog fest just to get there.
So what was I seen that on your Instagram? What was the go with that?
I got friends. I do that show in Guyana, and the promoter.
You did a show over there, okay.
Huh?
You did a show over there.
Well, in the past, I've done it.
Where is Guyana?
It's in South America. It's right next to Brazil.
Oh, okay.
And
Suriname.
Suriname.
Country.
Yeah. It's the only Caribbean South American country because it's right at the end of the islands. They speak English, albeit it's islander English. So you're like, what?
I said they technically speak English.
Please speak slowly.
They just kept yelling at me, "Hey, white boy."
That's what my nickname was on the trip. Hey, white boy. Just all day long. That's what I hear. Hey, white boy, we got dinner over here. Like, hey, white boy, put gas in your bike.
I think they would still speak better English than some of the people that used to live down by you, Clint. I'm pretty sure of that.
No, I'm pretty sure you went to Louisiana. I think that's the worst.
I know. I never made it to Louisiana. I'm bummed out about that.
Oh, you missed out.
You did miss
I know.
out. You go to the swamp in Louisiana? No idea.
I mean, I watch TV shows. What's that TV show?
Oh, yeah, Swamp People.
The dang old bayou.
The bayou.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That was spot on.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. Go pretty good with the accents.
You keeping up with MXGP and American motocross?
Yeah, I keep up American motocross more so than MXGP. Like, it's tough because I have to do R Series and then the AMA and then like MXGP. I find it, I don't know, the racing's been good this year, but it's pretty boring sometimes.
Why do you say that?
I don't know,
You're not
man.
battling
It's just,
as
I
much
think
as...
the reason is, well, I've been slack. I need to buy the online pass for MXGP for the MXTV. If I did that, I think it would be better. But we get it on our TV over here, but they have really bad commentators and a really bad TV package. So I think that's why I don't enjoy it too much. I really need to do that, but I don't know, man. You can't watch everything. I stay up to date on social media and follow who's doing what, but it's tough to stay up to date with every series because obviously I'm pretty heavily invested in our series over here, so I spend most of the time analyzing that.
Yeah, we get it. You got a life and stuff, and we don't. We're just sitting here watching fantasy motocross on TV.
I watch racing now more that I don't ride hardly anymore than I did when I rode. When I rode, I didn't care because I was out every weekend racing or something, you know.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's tough to, and it's long too. Like you got, I still haven't finished watching Thunder Valley. I got one more Moto to go. Like I know what happened, but
yeah, same here.
Sit down and watch. I think it's 4 hours of TV or something per round.
Well, and that's what it is. You need to. I've even seen some of the stuff. Maybe we were drinking or whatever at a bar, and then it's like, I need to go and rewatch it because I actually want to watch the battles. That's the good part about watching that stuff.
Pay attention, and that's the thing. Like, if I want to watch it, I got to get up like early so I can watch it before I go to work or before my girlfriend gets up, because there's no quiet TV time once that happens.
You better watch it, Joe.
This is on the internet.
You better watch
She's gonna find it.
Oh, it's all good. I tell her all the time. It's like I'll be away for 3 or 4 days at a national, and I'll get home at Sunday night like midnight, and she'll wait up so we can hang out, and I'll be like, oh, I just want to watch the Supercross real quick, and she's like, you've been away at the races for 4 days. How can you want to watch motocross? I'm like, it's different though, babe, because I haven't seen this one yet.
Yep.
So what do you think about the Supercross series then?
Like 450s?
Yeah, let's go 450.
450, it was interesting. Like, I feel that Dungey probably didn't get the credit he deserved because Tomac was just killing it. But you could see that Dungey was going through a transitional phase into retirement. Like, he was over it. He's burned out. He's done.
Yeah.
I don't understand Tomac. I really don't. Like, for someone that's so good and so mentally strong, now we're seeing it in the outdoors a little bit again. Like, he just has these little phases of a few weeks where it's not even average. It's just really bad.
Well, do you think that, and I've been thinking about that too, and I feel like he wants to vindicate that season on the Hondas that he really should have just blown everybody's doors off outdoors, and then he blew his shoulders out. And I think maybe he's putting himself in the positions to win the championships and then kind of like, I'm right there, I'm going to do it. And then like freaking himself out. Although it is super early and outdoors for already to trip yourself out. But it seems like he kind of did that.
Yeah, I think it's, he had the first 2 rounds, we had a 5th and an 8th or something. And then he ran round 3 after Roxon went out? Or was it round 4?
What, in Supercross?
In Supercross, yeah. But it's tough to, that was probably the peak form of his career. That was like a Ricky Carmichael spec. Like, if he hadn't got injured, that he would have dominated for the next 2 or 3 years, at that level from 15.
Right, exactly.
But now he's had those injuries. But I also feel like the sport's changing a lot, and those dominating years don't really seem to be happening anymore like they used to,
Well, look at how many people are really badass.
That's the thing.
Nick, what do you got going on here?
I got this kid. Keep going. He'll ignore it. He can't hear anything. What's up, dude?
I'm not worried about him ignoring it. He's loud.
That's my little guy. He got an alligator. He's working on his diabetes. He knows he's not supposed to have those. Do your kids who train drink that shit?
What, Gatorade?
Yeah.
Depends what kid it is. Like, there's some kids where I'm like, you do not need any additional sugar, so just...
That's this kid. That's him right here, man.
But then there's some kids before the race, I'll be like, can you just drink a Red Bull or something and wake the hell up? Because we got to go now, let's do it.
We got things to do.
Yeah. So, it all depends on the kid.
Yeah, but so what's up with Tomac? I think he gets... Does you think he gets nervous? Or you think he's, like, psyched out?
Yeah, I think he's psyching himself out.
Taylor, you're the zombie.
I don't think nervous is...
Nick, you're going to have to move.
Is probably not an appropriate...
We're going to start running loud, okay?
They're going to run loud, Nick. You're going to have to move.
Are they that loud?
Yeah, it's super loud.
I got those fucking headphones on. I thought that would help.
No.
Can you hear me now?
No, we can hear you. We can hear you.
But the kids are super
Is them
loud.
allowed to now or still? I took it out. Hey! Alright, keep going.
Y'all need to be quiet here.
Yo, kids, shut up!
Oh, yeah, that worked. Oh, didn't work.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
That's it. Got kicked out of
yeah,
his own
so I don't know.
backyard.
I think nerves is probably, at that level, nerves is probably the wrong word, but I think it's more just, I don't know, it's just that slight little bit of doubt or inconsistencies in his concentration, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to, I don't feel that the program he's on and the way he rides and his speed level and where he's at, you can't just be like, oh, Dungey's in my head this weekend or the championship's in my head. It's so hard to put a reason behind it,
I don't know, man. Seems like it's gotta be something, because he just...
I mean, let's talk about Savaji. Same thing.
What?
Savaji is the same thing. He's put himself in the position to win a bunch of championships. Well, at least 3. Last year's Supercross. Last year's Outdoors. This year's Supercross. He's doing it again outdoors. He's obviously fast, but it seems like when it comes down to it, end of the season, when he's like about to realize, his dream of winning a championship, that kind of weighs on him.
Yeah, it's overthinking, probably just not doing what he knows how to do. And it's so easy from the sidelines though to say it. It's the guys work on the best programs in the world and they perform at such a high level that I don't think anyone can really know. Like, it's easy from the outside looking in, but there's so many moving parts to what them guys have going on each week. But yeah, I mean, it comes down to the fact that Tomac should have won that championship, same as Savachi, and they didn't. Yeah, what more can you say?
I agree. I mean, we're just speculating, and that's all we're trying to do.
Yeah.
I don't figure, Here's the thing is you say, which I agree with you, that their levels and everything is at such a high level, but so is everybody. So that's what makes it still, with all that training and everything, people go, well, they train all the time. How do you get arm pump? It's like, because everybody's pushing as friggin' hard as they can and taxed mentally, Even because they rode all week, they're still riding it as hard as they can.
Yeah, and and the thing with riders is that's what I've learned over the years working with riders and getting to the point where we're at now is that it's so mental, the mental side of the sport. When you get to that elite pro level, like, Tomac and Dungey, like, they may appear superhuman, but I feel like there's a vast majority of, say, the top 10 that if they had the right mental approach and the right programming could probably run that speed and do it regularly, but they have blocks in their mind, And,
well, I'll go even further. They can run the speed, just not for as long, for the whole moto. Here's even an interesting one. Look at Muskin. The last couple of years, he got to the point where you're like, this guy's obviously fast. He should be winning some stuff. He's even been in front of, how much was that, what was it, Atlanta, where Stewart was going in the inside rut, and Muskin just messed up going around him, and then Dungey beat him on the last lap.
Yeah, they cross-jumped each other and nearly died, and it was,
yeah, exactly. And now all of a sudden, Dungey's gone, boom, Muskin's just winning motos and, you know what I mean, leading the points.
It's just confidence, it's just mental continuity and building and confidence and not getting injured. And I don't know, I think you probably see Savachi, if he manages to win outdoors this year, which I don't know is going to be a tough order for him with Osborne.
Although Osborne seems to be having a little bit of a breakdown as well right now.
Well, I think he was sick at Thunder Valley,
Yeah, that's what they said, huh?
Yeah, so I don't think he would be, 8th and 5th or something like that. Doesn't seem like him.
Yeah.
When he completely waxed everyone at round 1.
Right. which I expected him to continue to do. But
well, yeah, and it's tough. Like it's we don't have, like, say in Australia, like we have quite an even playing field as far as machinery and equipment and riders for the most part. So, like, we have one guy right now, Dean Ferris, who's coming over to race High Point. He's doing round 4 with you guys in AMA, and like, he rides for Factory Yamaha over here. He won the MX1 title last year. He's raced MXGPs, and he's on another level. Like, no one can touch him. He's like 4 or 5, but a good two or so seconds a lap on average faster than just about everybody in the field. But he's on probably the only real factory team in the country where they have a lot of parts that you don't have access to. They have in-house tech guys, in-house suspension guys. Like, a lot of the teams over here outsource all that stuff. But everyone else is pretty close, whereas over there, it seems like, especially in the 250 class, like, if you're not on one of those Geico or PC or Star Yamaha teams, you're not going to be competitive. Even if you had the ability to run with those guys, you're just not going to get there.
Yeah, that's probably true.
How would you break it down? Like, bikes, riders, confidence, training. Like, what are they all equal, or is it something a key?
I think it's subjective to the rider. I really do. It's like, because you can take a guy that you see a team sign and you have everything that leads to him killing. Like Christian Craig this year is an example, right? Like, Christian Craig coming in, should have rode west but didn't. But after the year he had last year, building toward this year, like, everyone was tipping Craig to just kill it. And he had David Villeman training him, had everything in place. Best team, probably one of the best bikes. Really good trainer, really good program. Been back in the pro ranks for a couple of years. And then I think he won one heat race and podium 1 main, maybe. And you ask, the interview, they go, what's going on with Christian Craig? He's like, I don't know. I need to be better. I don't know what's going on. It's just there's something blocking him up top. But then, maybe next year it changes for him and it's a different story. So it's so subjective to the rider. I think in this sport, timing is everything. You got to have the right rider signing to the right bike at the right point in his career. And then if all the stars align, because how many times you see it, like, a team signs someone that's got a buzz that they're going to kill it, and then literally nothing happens.
Yeah, totally. Or an injury or something like that.
A guy over here, like Alexander Tonkov, he races MXGPs. And he's won MXGPs. He's been a podium guy over there, and he had visa issues because he's from Russia, so he couldn't race MXGP this year. So he signed for our factory Kawasaki team in the 450s to do the Australian Nationals, and he could, I think he was 8th, 9th, 10th overall. Like, it was crazy. And that's a guy that's won MXGPs, And they just released him from his contract. He's going back to Russia to figure out, he just didn't gel over here with anything. So it's like, technically, a guy that's won MXGP should come to a domestic championship
and smoke them.
Smoke everybody, but it didn't work out. Like, my guy, my 450 rider who works a full-time job and, is on our team as we're a privateer team, but he was battling with him at some rounds. And you go, what? That's not right.
Right.
So,
man,
I don't know.
Maybe the track, how are the tracks over there? Are they real fat? Like, MXGPs seem, and I don't know, obviously I've not ridden any, but seem just really fast and maybe not super rough. I mean, they get rough, but they're not like rutted like American, motocross tracks.
I think the biggest thing with MXGP is that it's natural terrain. Like, America, every track's the same. Like, you guys would seriously be able to run the same suspension settings and the same tires almost the entire series.
Bro, are you talking shit?
No, I mean, it's like Thunder Valley's got better now. Like, it's actually more hard pack again. But even Thunder Valley a few years ago, they were bringing sand in and making it like a full, you look at, say, right, Hangtown's hard pack, Thunder Valley's hard pack, and Mount Morris is hard pack. Every other track nearly is that loamy, sandy mix that you guys run over there.
Unadilla is rocks.
All right, and Unadilla. So what's that? 3 out of 12 venues? 4 out of 12 venues?
Maybe America just has the best dirt on earth to ride on, right?
I will say
It does. It
Yeah.
does. There's nothing wrong with it. But what I'm saying in MXGP is like you go to France, or you go to England, or you go to wherever, and the track's on the side of the mountain, and it's hard packed bays. There's flint. There's rock. That's what it is. They don't bring sand in. They don't do anything. That's the track. So I think the MXGP riders are more.
Even Redwood's like a loamy mix, and they brought in tons and tons of sand.
Yeah. I mean, Redwood's like
still,
and they rip it so deep over there now too. So it's like if you don't have the horsepower or you don't have that bike in the 250s, it's impossible to run up front out of the gate. So I think that's where the MXGP advantage comes in. Is probably they're more rounded riders because of the varying terrain they have to ride. But then you come to Australia, like we have the dirt here is crazy. It's the most arid country in the world, so the dirt's really hard packed. So even if it's ripped and prepped and deep, instead of how I tell all my riders or anyone I talk to is like the American bumps they build out of the ground. And they churn up, so you can skip them, you can stay on top of them. In Australia, a lot of the bumps, Xing the corners, the dirt falls away and it becomes square edged because the ground's just so hard underneath. So it's more edgy, more hard pack. It's definitely different to ride anywhere else in the world.
Says a guy that's ridden in Georgia and California. They happen to have good dirt in both of those places.
Yeah.
New
Cali,
Jersey
Georgia.
sucks.
I rode a little bit up in Chicago as well.
Yeah.
I rode some tracks up there with the Rose.
They get
Where
hard.
at? Probably Joliet.
Oh, I don't remember, man. We're going back a long time.
10 years.
They probably weren't great.
I remember going to some supercross track with some snowmobile dude. That was pretty cool.
That was Joliet, I bet.
Maybe. And I remember riding ramps in Jason Street, like actually in the street.
Yeah,
in
for his
suburbia.
dad's birthday.
No, just we had a show and I'd never ridden his ramps before. He's like, "You want to practice?" I'm like, "Yeah, I probably would like to." He's like, "All right, we'll set the ramps up in the street." I'm like, "We're in suburbia. What do you mean in the street?"
Yeah. You're about to go ride polished concrete. Fuck it.
Yeah, like, no, it's cool, man. It was a private street or something. Anyway, it was just a midweek day and we were out sessioning in the street. All the neighbors came out.
It's Wakanda. Yeah. The Rose own Wakanda. You don't realize that?
Yeah.
I kind of got that vibe after. So, yeah, the dirt, like Georgia has the best dirt close to it in the world, I'd say.
It's pretty sweet.
So let's hear about your team. Like who's on it? What is it? Like, I don't know shit about it.
Okay.
It's the rundown.
So, like last year, we just had a junior development program, amateur program. We had, a Beagle 85, 125, 250 riders. And then this year, we decided to expand, and I've gone ahead and had a pro team. So we have 3 guys on the pro team that run the development 250 series, the nationals, and then MX2 and MX1. So we are supported by Peter Stevens, which is like the biggest motorcycle retailer in the country. And then through them, we get like Dunlop, Fox, MotorX, like a lot of big brands that come on pro circuit, all those guys that help. And yeah, basically we have, we're branded as a development program because me as a coach, as a trainer, like my coaching program, that's the whole point of it. We're trying to take guys that can be privateers that come into a team environment and we help them progress. And, we're not out there trying to win because we don't have the budget for that. And that's not what it's about. We've got guys that are, 10 to 15 at pro national level and guys that are top 5 at amateur level, at national level, So it's more about taking the riders to that next step. And don't get me wrong, they'd love to have support and back end to go after pro championships and stuff, but it's only our second year in a team environment, so we're nowhere near ready for that yet.
So where are you guys at in the season right now? It's going into winter. Do you have Supercross or?
No. So it's opposite. So over here it's motocross in winter, Supercross in summer.
What?
Really?
It's so hot you have to go inside to do supercrosses?
Yeah, but we don't have indoor stadiums. Aside from that one in Sydney, all the other supercrosses are outdoors. But the problem is over here, man, is that summer is like, if you wanted to run an outdoor national, imagine, well, you know, you got like Redbud in summer, or you got Glen Helen in summer. It's crazy hot, but you guys have infrastructure and a lot of people to make sure the track's good. We just don't have that over here. So if we were to run a national in the middle of summer, like, it wouldn't matter what you did to the track, it would be too dry. So it's best to have it over winter, and then they schedule the national series. So like, we do the first half of the series from autumn to the start of winter, and we do it down south. And then we do the second half of the series. We've got 5 rounds to go, which kick off in July, and we only have 1 round in Victoria, which is the state I live in, but the rest of the series is in New South Wales and Queensland, where the weather's really good in winter. Because you got to remember, summer in half of the country, like northern half of the country, summer is almost tropical, so it rains every day.
What sounds like here?
Yeah, but I'm not talking like little rain. I'm talking, you know, like monsoon rain.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting climate here. Like, everyone's scattered. I live right on the beach. Everyone's scattered around like the outside of the country. There's not much inland. There's not much of a population here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, what's the population of Australia for how big it is?
I think we just hit 40 mil.
Oh, that's not shit. Australia's huge.
Yeah, it's massive. I'm saying, like, populate per capita, we have, you know, our economy's crazy good for the amount of people we have living here compared to the States, where you guys have like hundreds of millions. I don't even know what it is.
300? Is that what we got?
Yeah,
300
probably.
million?
So,
I think like 300 million.
So, you know, our motocross industry and our motocross economy as a whole, for the amount of people we have here, is really, really good.
Ours sucks because there's little shithead kids at home that are like, I'm not paying $2 for your app, bro. They're like,
Yeah.
I want it for free. No wonder why nobody wants to make shit for motocross people.
Yeah, but selling anything digital is tough, man. Apps or anything like that.
Or online podcasts, very difficult to sell.
Oh, eventually. I think
especially when they're so professional.
You can monetize it one day, you know. Like,
well, we already did. One of our podcasts made 6 cents.
I didn't even get my cut.
Well, I'm gonna owe you $1 soon.
That's some bullshit.
He's trying to hustle you. You ain't getting it.
We're gonna make.
You look at like the Pulp MX show. Like, that's been going for what, 7 years or something.
How about DMXS?
Yeah, I'm not really familiar. I know about it, but I'm not too familiar with it.
DMXS is. What are you doing, bro?
I dropped my phone. Sorry.
He's from Georgia.
Oh, that's that Kevin Kelly dude, right?
Yeah. I went to some of his shows early on, in studio.
Yeah, I remember hanging out with him at the Atlanta Supercross a couple of years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know much about that show, but I've seen it around.
Yeah. I don't listen to it either, since they don't have me on anymore. That's how it goes.
It was never the same.
Sorry, Kevin, but your show just lost something after I wasn't on it.
Dude, we're going up. We had 5 people watching.
What?
Yeah. Shit. Fuck. I'm not even watching. It was killing my internet.
I'm one of them. I need to get off of it.
No, that's fine. We'll take your number.
No,
we'll just add to our
standard.
Views.
We always have 2 people watching. It's usually me and Clint.
It's always about padding the numbers.
That's right.
That's right.
You are watching it, though. You need to see me somehow. I tried to show you, Nick. I forgot. I'm drinking Lone Star beer.
Oh, can't see it. Sounds like you're just making it up.
I smuggled it. Let me know when you see it. I'm holding it up for the camera.
I turned it off. I'm telling you. The YouTube that's what was making you talk funny earlier.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'm at home. Normally I'm at the office. So my internet's a little better at home. It's apparently
So
not so good.
skimping at home for the kids.
Well, they're outside. We got a sleepover going on tonight. I lost Joe.
We lost Joe.
No, I'm here. I'm just checking out.
Jeremy
Instagram,
Stenberg's
seeing
back.
Anyone's clicking.
Oh, this is a good time then. I'll be right back.
Jeremy Stenberg's back on the show, folks. Or James Stewart. We'll go with James Stewart this time. Damn it, it's just Joe.
JS69 in the house. That's me.
So that's sweet. What made you, which I don't think I've actually talked to you about this, but like what made you come up with that idea? Well, your dad owned a gym, correct?
Yeah, sorry, I got something in my mouth. It was, the story goes like, when I was over, even when I did freestyle, man, like I was a racer in England and I wanted to be a pro racer. I wanted to make it, so to speak. And I just didn't have the back end or the environment to do it. You know what I mean? It costs a lot of money. It takes a lot of years. That was just wasn't going to happen. So then I was like, well, when I came over to you, man, it wasn't like I wanted to be a pro freestyler. It was just I was young and had an opportunity, I guess. I didn't really know I had that opportunity until I came out to stay with you. And then it was like, shit, I can make some money and jump bikes and travel around America like I'm down, you know.
Yeah.
But by the end of my time over there, I was like kind of over it, I guess, with the freestyle thing. And then when I moved over to Oz, because I needed to find somewhere to live properly because it wasn't going to be America, freestyle scene over here was crazy, dude. Like, everyone worked full-time jobs because there wasn't a lot of money to be made doing freestyle, but then they were still doing, you know, all the big backflip tricks and sending it because Aussies are loose as as. And I actually did a couple shows over here, and it was like I rode for 4 or 5 days at one state fair, and I did a few other things, and I was making like not even $1,000 a show, and I'm like, this is just stupid. You know, the risk reward wasn't there anymore, and you know, Bilko and Cam Sinclair and all those guys live in my neighborhood, like they're a town over, and I didn't get access to those guys for a lot of years because they were so busy on tour. I just never met them. So I didn't have anyone to really ride with and do it properly. And I was like, so long story short, like got out of riding and I just worked the job and didn't ride and didn't do nothing. And then when I made a little bit of money, I'm like, there's a few tracks. I'm like, screw it, I'll go get a bike and just start riding again. And I was only still like, 21, 22. And then I was going to the local tracks and the guys that raced, I was just, you know, I was faster than them or as fast. And I was like, shit, I should probably start racing again because I could still go okay. And then that was it, you know, like I did that for a couple of years and it started racing nationals again and did that for half a season and then remembered why I started just because I was broke and couldn't compete properly. And at that point, it was like the industry was a little behind here. Like, I'd sent myself to train at Millsaps before I raced nationals over here in 2012. I trained in California. Like, I'd seen the training programs, and over here it was really old-fashioned. Like, it hadn't progressed, and there was no one doing that side of things, what I'd say, right, you know. So I figured that's, you know, I was still young. I could start something up and didn't have to make a ton of money to get by. And then, I don't know, it just evolved. Like, I started training people in the garage at my house and going to the tracks, and then before you know it, it's like, well, I had enough people training that I opened a gym, and then the gym business grew and the coaching business grew, and yeah, it was, I don't know, I guess it was just pretty organic the way it evolved. I didn't have like a business plan. I sort of wish I had because it probably would have helped a lot, but when you're young, you don't think that way, you know.
What's a business plan?
It's important. So I don't know, to answer your question, like I wanted to be around the sport. I wanted to be involved in moto, and obviously the next best thing to being a racer, probably a better thing than being a racer in all honesty, is being a trainer, because you get to live it, but you don't have to go through it yourself as far as the hardships. And I don't know, man, like just a lot of cool opportunities came from starting up the brand that was, you know, M.A.D, Motocross Athlete Development. And then, yeah, I mean, that was 6-7 years ago I started this stuff up, and and it's just kind of ebbed and flowed into a lot of different things where, you know, the TV came from it. Now the race team ended up getting rid of the gym a couple of years ago, but we've had a lot of, you know, it would be really tough to talk about it all in detail because it's just been a pretty crazy ride, actually.
No, it's awesome. I'm pumped for you. I know we had a bunch of, you picked my brain a little bit about businesses and stuff. I remember, and I don't remember exactly the conversations we had, but I remember you being like, why do you do that? And it was something to do with riders, and I remember being like, I'm over them. The pain in the ass.
Yeah, but well, here's the thing though, Clint, because this is one thing I always talk about with people is that when I came from the UK, is like people rode. A few people had like freestyle team setups, and like if you ran a motocross race team, you just had a truckload of money. And where I came from, I didn't have access to any of that stuff. You know what I mean? I didn't know the right people. I wasn't connected that way. It took me coming to the States and living with you, and then I saw the business side of the sport for the first time, which was, number one, I could actually make money riding, but then I'd see you work and I'd go to business meetings with you. I saw how you dealt with sponsors, how you got all that stuff. And I'm like a sponge, man. Like if I'm around something, I take it on, you know? And by the time I got done staying with you and being on tour and dealing with promoters and staying with different people, I did that for a couple of years. And I'm like, fuck, I learned so much. It wasn't even about the riding. It was about what I learned as far as, I guess, business and as a person, that you take all that stuff on board, and then you start to see the opportunities and business that there is to be had in the sport you want to do, you know. But you need that education, I guess you'd call it. You know, it's kind of like going to college almost.
Sweet.
Do you see any differences, like, from what you're talking about, you learned from Clint, like in the U.S., between the UK and Australia, of how you would handle that type of shit?
I don't know, man. The U.S. is, I think it's probably harder in America, I'll be honest with you. I feel like you guys are in a very tough situation right now with everything as far as the economy and, you know, trying to, you know, freestyle for now. I mean, it's pretty much done, really. Hey, when I was over there, there was maybe 3 IFMAs a weekend, 3 Monster Jam shows a weekend, and then there was all the independent Monster Jam shows, and like there was a shortage of riders for all of that stuff. Now it seems like none of that goes on anymore.
It's the opposite now. I've had some big name guys like a couple years ago be like, hey man, if you need somebody for shows, and I'm like, we're in trouble. This dude's asking me for fucking shows. Like,
yeah, and that's the thing I sort of saw coming. You know, I finished up at the end of 08, start of 09 over there, and it was booming. And then within a couple of years, it seemed like it really slowed down.
Yeah. And then also, you know, like any sport where there's a bunch of young people that are doing it because they're passionate about it, it starts to cannibalize itself because young kids go, I just want to ride for a living. I don't need that much money or whatever, you know? So like flip pay went from, in my career alone, as far as flipping, from like 3,500 in the United States and 4,500 out of the States to now I bet you get fucking 1,500, $2,000 to flip.
Oh, do you even get paid to flip? Like I know over here there is no flip money. You just get paid to ride.
Why would you flip? That's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. I would just stop flipping.
But you have to flip to get shows.
Well, everybody's flipping.
Yeah,
that's gone backwards with inflation. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's retarded. It's like you got to be able to, if you want to ride for any company that would give you enough shows to be even a part-time job, you got to flip.
Yeah, who do you have? Showtime?
Showtime is slowing down nowadays. They've been going for a long time. There's a company called Freestyle Kings from Sydney that is starting to pop up. We've got a couple of trucks, and one of the guys I know down here rides for them, and they have a really good reputation. They pay good, and it's that Vicky Golden comes out and does a bunch of stuff for them.
They also have that set up in China at the casino or whatever.
Yeah, they're the ones that do that casino gig over there. Like they're probably
Showtime still has fucking Harry Bink and Sully. So I mean,
Yeah,
they're
but they're pretty
fucking
much
rippers.
contracted to Nitro. I think they just do a Showtime show here or there.
Yeah. Well.
I think Sully doesn't do Nitro anymore. He's more, you know. I mean, they're still doing a lot of shows. Don't get me wrong. But back in the day, like Showtime would have 2 landings, and they'd have shows every weekend with both landings. You know.
Yeah.
You think freestyle is going to go kind of like motocross, where like the top 10 guys are making something, and then everybody else is showing up, kind of to, at least in the States, it seems that way.
I mean, that's
pay
how
the way
it's
a little
been.
bit.
Yeah, I don't think the thing with freestyle. I feel like freestyle and skateboarding or BMX, the industry shares a similar timeline where, like, remember when skateboarding exploded in the 70s or 80s, whenever it was, and then it died in the 90s, and the same as BMX.
Yeah. That's what they're going through now.
Yeah, freestyle motocross went through that boom. Like everything you could possibly think of that should have probably took 20 years of progression and made the sport sustainable happened in 5 years, you know?
So now every kid's going to have to do front flip flares and double backflips in order to just compete in freestyle motocross. And we're not going to pay them anything because the industry doesn't make that much money. It sounds sweet.
Well, that's the thing. And, like, you look at, like, there's one guy over here. He's not a kid. He's like 20, mid-20s. I think Ryan Brown, his name is. You've probably seen him on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. I follow him. He
kills it, man. Like, such a good rider. Like, 360s, biggest flip tricks, flares, egg rolls.
He started doing rock solid flips.
Yeah, like, he's ridiculous. But he's not, he hasn't been picked up by a major sponsor. So he still works a job. But he'll go to Night of the Jumps and he's doing all that and trying to make some money in Europe. But it's like, he wants to be a contest rider. He doesn't want to be a Nitro Circus rider. He wants to do the contest thing. But, the problem is X Games is probably the only, you got one Red Bull X Fighters event a year and one X Games. And X Games isn't a riders contest. It's a TV contest that's based off of sponsors and popularity.
How dare you say that?
It's kind of industry fact, but it took someone like Jared McNeil like years to be able to medal and do good at X Games.
Yeah, but that's everybody. That's everybody. Like, look how long. And listen, Pastrana's the fucking man. But there was a couple of years that Nate should have beat him before Nate actually won an X Games gold. Let's look at Javier. How long has Javier been fucking crushing it and towards the top? And he doesn't get those results. I mean, that's how this sport is, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's the reality of it, and I don't know, unless you have a sponsor paying you for the year, which is you need Rockstar, Red Bull, Monster, like they're the only companies that pay wages really at that level for freestyle athletes. So unless you have that, it's pretty tough. And I don't know where the sport goes from here. It's a shame, but I don't know where freestyle goes from here because, I don't think it's going to ever get to the point that people maybe thought it would or should have. I don't know if it will.
Yeah, but what is that point? Like, where is motocross in the grand scheme of things? Motocross itself, supercross, whatever, is not getting paid like football just because the market is not that big. Like, that's the thing. Everybody goes, for the risk that they're taking, they should be making way more. But let's be serious. That's not how it works. It's how much that industry generates.
Yeah, it all comes down. That's the thing that in my position now with owning a race team and everything, I kind of hate that side of it because it all comes down to money. Every single bit of it comes down to how much you have to invest, how much you can get from sponsors, and for motocross, that's true, And Clint, I still remember you saying this to me, and it stuck with me forever, right? You said to me about motocross is that someone turns on TV and they watch someone throw a football and they're like, yeah, I threw a football once. Like, I get it. Like, man, that guy could throw a ball. Sick. They're just going to sit there and watch it because it's passive viewing. But you put on a supercross race to someone that's never seen motocross before, and they're like, what in the world is going on? Like, these guys are jumping all this stuff, and is that the leader, or what race? Is this a heat race, or what's a last chance qualifier, and what the, you know what I mean?
You can't relate to it.
No, you're never going to be able to package that to the average consumer. You know, you can for maybe one event in their city. You know, you might be able to get them to come watch the Supercross, but they're never going to be a consumer of the sport to generate revenue from them being a fan. And it's just, you know, unfortunately, you look at NASCAR, or, you know, we have V8 supercars over here. You know, I know, for, like, you know, the bonnet of the car, the hood of the car is worth $800 to $1 million in Australia for a V8 supercar sponsor, because the logo is the size of the front of the car. Where do you put that on a motocross bike?
Well, but two, let's look at the viewership and how many people. Here's another thing. Okay, so let's just go. First off, it's just like monster trucks. Monster trucks sell out everywhere. Everywhere, dude. A standalone monster truck show can sell out anywhere. Motocross, supercross, freestyle is not. Well, okay, supercross probably. And let's just go freestyle. Freestyle is not doing that anywhere right now. That's why X Games and Nitro Circus is 6 different events at once. You know, and the people that are buying that are really big, like consumers of motocross gear and clothing and this and that actually ride motocross. And the amount of people that actually have ridden motocross or a motocross bike is far less than that have hit a golf ball and a baseball and thrown a football and kicked a soccer ball. Like, people that have done all 4 of those is still way more than the amount of people that have ridden a motocross bike.
Yeah, 110%, and that's the reality of it, isn't it?
So now
I think it's changing a little bit, though, because we're getting to the point where everybody, maybe not, they've been good, but everyone's ridden a dirt bike pretty much. It seems like. Or at least crashed on one.
You live out in the woods, that's why you think that.
It's getting, not everybody, but it's getting more and more, where it used to be like one kid in the neighborhood had a dirt bike. Now there's a couple kids, at least, that have a dirt bike from like Pep Boys or something, some crappy Chinese one, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's probably the other side of it, where, you know, less people are racing nowadays because the recreational side of the sport's becoming more of a thing. So that's good for the industry in one way, because, you know, you're going to generate bike sales and gear sales for people to go ride in the bush or the desert or whatever. But at the same time, those guys don't really care about supercross or racing motocross. So the companies are sort of, we don't need to invest as much in racing anymore because people are just going to go ride for fun anyway, you know?
Yeah, I think if they spin it, though, then, like, people get, like, they can invest themselves in it in a sense that, like, oh, man, I ride too. Even if they just watch it just to get all their friends to watch, to say, oh, I got that dirt bike, you guys see me ride it, let's watch this race. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can kind of relate to it.
I mean, I think you compare, and this is the thing that people forget all the time, motocross is a motorsport. It's not a stick and ball sport. It's not a team sport. It's a motorsport. And as far as motorsports go, it is the most accessible one by far, as far as cost. You know, even go-karts or road racing. Like, you want to go race those things for a year, and you'll see what a real budget looks like.
It's ridiculous.
So I feel that I think education comes into a little bit for the riders as well. That it's like, you can, you know, sprint cars or go-karts or road bikes, like those guys, even at a national level, they're not really making a living unless they have a family business or something that can subsidize it. Whereas motocross, like, you can actually, as a rider, you can endorse yourself, you can brand yourself, you can get sponsors, you can get money that doesn't necessarily come from race results, but it's a derivative of you going to the races and being seen. But the problem is most moto guys are not educated enough at a young age, because we go pro at 16. So how do you tell a 16-year-old to know how to market himself? How do you tell, you know, an 18-year-old he's got to do this, he's got to do that? Like, I didn't get that when I was that age. No one does, you know?
Yeah.
Instagram now,
you don't have to be winning to make a living. You just have to be smart about how you brand yourself and what you do.
Yeah, ask a lot of these chicks that ride dirt bikes.
Yeah, moto chicks, right?
Yeah.
Thing.
Yo, there's so many getting sponsorships, and I'm just like, What exactly do you do other than take pictures with their bike in the backyard?
You know, but that's also another changing industry, isn't it? Social media. You know, back say even 10 years ago, man. And that's the thing I hate about when I was over there with you guys, right? And I don't have hardly any documentation of it because we didn't have camera phones back then. We didn't post every day about what we were doing. You remember? It was just like you threw up a MySpace picture here or there.
Yeah.
You know, now everything's so instant and it's so convoluted and overexposed. Like, it's tough. It really is tough to say what's.
And I've even watched with guys. I know some people that barely, I did how many shows a year? And I watched people that would do like 6 and they just post that shit all the time and they're getting sponsors. And I'm like, seriously? You just post this online? I do like friggin' 200 performances in 6 months.
Yeah, that's the nature of it now, unfortunately. And even in my contracts, all of my contracts are so heavily social media orientated. Like I do social media management for a lot of the companies that sponsor us because that was my puppy, by the way. I just wanted to introduce him to everyone.
Well, you didn't. What's his name?
What's its name?
It's Dungy.
Oh. I like it.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. He's a little pugglier, but yeah, that's the thing. Like social media now is, for the sponsors we get, I have to deliver so much on a social media level, manage accounts, content, create, creative, everything. Again, you can't be 2-dimensional anymore in the industry if you want to make money, unless you're Ken Roxon or Dungy or someone that's just killing it. And then you're going to get money. You got to win everything, you're going to get money. Other than that, you got to be creative. You got to find ways.
It's basically like the Adam Jones thing in freestyle. I tell everybody, listen, you can't be that sour and still get work. You're not as good as Adam Jones. So you better just be really cool. And don't wreck stuff. Just be cool and don't wreck stuff.
Like be good or be. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I said just be cool and don't wreck stuff.
Yeah, just be good or be good at it. Like you either got to be the best or you got to find a way to make it work. And personality and not wrecking stuff helps.
That was, I think, my biggest thing is that I could get drunk but not wreck stuff. So they were.
I don't know about that.
So they were okay with me.
I don't think Clint wasn't fully committed. He was almost there.
To what? Great.
To wrecking stuff.
Wrecking stuff.
I don't know. There's a few instances I can remember you putting a couch out the window at Durhamtown.
That was listen. That night I was trying to win the championship drinking belt.
Oh, you won it, all right.
I won it, even though I broke the rules and threw up before noon the next day.
Yeah, but there was a lot of people that broke that rule and just didn't, publicize it. Like, you were a fire-breathing dragon that night. Shirt was off. Hairy chest was out. You was just mashing around.
Listen, the last thing I literally remember that night is sitting on the edge of the hot tub with my nuts hanging out of my shorts. Showing people how to get to my house on the veins. That's literally the last thing I remember before it all went gray.
Oh, I probably haven't thought about that for nearly 10 years, but I remember it very clearly now you said that. Yeah, that was that night. That was wild.
Yeah, we were drinking all the moonshine.
On the side of his truck with his dynamite and then blamed it on everyone.
Yeah, well, remember he goes, hey, if that K10 Blazer was there, it was nice. It was like this nice old Blazer. Somebody, like the guy was his business partner, ran off with his ex-old lady or whatever. So then he's like, if you can get that fucking truck running, you can destroy it. You can do whatever you want to it. And I was like, done. So we went over and we pulled the truck back. And then we got it running, and we're like, okay, it kind of ran. We jumped it a little bit, and then we're like, all right, we're going to charge the battery, and then we're going to go and drive it around. And then all of a sudden he realized I was serious about it and we were getting it running. And then he was like, no. I had already smashed all the doors in with my shoulders.
Oh my god! Yeah, that night was. I'll never forget that.
And then we were drinking just moonshine and peppermint moonshine, sitting in the hot tub.
I can't believe it went like that.
Yeah,
So smooth.
Yeah, it was an interesting night. Let's leave it at that.
I don't think it was a couch. I think it was Crystal's mattress. I ripped the mattress out from under her and then fired it out into the rain.
Whatever it was, I just remember being outside and seeing the blinds and stuff come out of the window.
That was the...
And Clint's just there like Donkey Kong with his big chest, just like, just like shaking the window.
Okay, that was different because that wasn't her cabin. That was the cabin we were staying in. I smashed the blinds in it. With the championship drinking belt, I believe. I was swinging it around.
Oh, man. Good times, man. Good times.
Let me pee and get another beer.
I'm going to have to wrap this up pretty soon.
Fine.
Because I got to go do stuff.
You got to do stuff.
It's the middle of the day. What do you have to do? You can't just sit on the internet and talk all day?
E-drink with us?
What's that?
You can't e-drink with us? Screw it. I'm getting another beer. This is our new hashtag, e-drink. Because we figured it out. That's all we do is we just talk to each other and drink via the internet.
You know, we could do you should do a reunion show. How many people can you get on this thing?
You would never. It would just be the Jason Rose show. He would just talk over everyone.
Yeah, but I'm cool with that. Like, we wouldn't even need to meet in person that way. We don't need to do a reunion. It would just be we could get together and do a live show. And my God,
well, I've already talked to
everyone
Connors.
tape their phone to their chest and then just go to the bar and just
just sit there at your local bar.
I talked to Connors. You and Connors both talked to me about being on the show, and then both you every week were like, I'm like, hey, can you do it? No, I can't do it. So then I called Connors. And I was like, hey, Connors, can you do it? And he's like, well, I'm going to the circus this weekend. And I'm like, okay. And then I talked to you, and you can't do it because something. I talked to Connors, and he's like, well, I'm going to be here. And I'm like, you motherfuckers, both of you.
All right, I don't know. Like when I hit you up, I'm like, what? You know, this is my normal Wednesday routine, and then it just didn't happen for a while. So,
well, we worked it out.
We made it happen. But I still think you're onto something with a reunion show from everyone. Because, I mean, dude, I was only around for a year or so. Like, you would have endless amounts of people to be on this thing.
Did he disappear?
And he's gone.
Must be getting tequila.
Sally just smoke bombed us. He's gone.
It's tequila time. Are you watching this still on YouTube or no?
No, I stopped.
I can't. It's killing my connection. So I've just been staring at you and then like a blank stare from Wilfred just staring at me.
Excuse me.
How are you yawning?
I don't know. I don't sit still too well. Makes me tired.
It is a long time to sit and just jab.
Just BS.
I have the hardest time watching motocross because I watch it and then like every 5 minutes I catch myself just drifting off. I'm on my phone or I'm doing something.
Yeah, I mean, that's what, you know, when we were doing the live, I was doing the TV show, and it's like you got 30-minute moto and someone's just out front, and it's tough.
Hey, what do you talk about?
Oh, just, you try to keep it fresh, but it's not easy.
I'm back. Oh, I forgot you guys couldn't see me just run away.
Yeah, no, I had like a really life-altering question for you.
I heard it, but I was all the way in the bathroom and I couldn't respond. But I forgot what it was now, so.
No, I just said you'd have an endless amount of people to put on a reunion show. It would be pretty rad.
Well, I'm just going to go through them one at a time, so that way. I talked to Gary about being on the show as well.
Yeah.
So, and I'm trying to get some bigger name people I know. Not like
Did
Gary
you get
Robertson.
Brody?
Not a big name. Yeah, I texted son of a bitch and he never wrote me back.
Yeah, you know what Brody's like. You
I'm
got to
gonna
keep on
go
him a
up
little
to
bit.
Massachusetts and whoop his ass.
Go up to Boston. But I don't know. If you got Brody drunk a little bit, it'd be fun.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's what he's afraid of. He's afraid of Bart coming out online.
But there'd be a lot of rad people you could get on this show. You should do like 50 shows, and on the 50th, get everyone on it, just like a big old free for all.
It's gonna not work, Joe. Come on. We talk over. There's 3 of us. We talk over each other.
It would be organic. They'd find a balance.
You really think 50
What'd you say,
drinking?
Clint? What?
You think 50
What'd you say?
drinking
What?
people would
Who?
find a balance?
Probably not. Maybe worth a shot.
Kavanaugh's getting married in September.
Yeah.
You're not flying over for that?
What's that?
I say Kavanaugh's getting married in September.
Where's he? He's in like
Wisconsin.
or something.
Yeah.
Shit, I'll crash it. That's like a couple hours.
Did you not get an invite?
Must have got lost in the
Do
mail.
you know Cody?
But
Do you not?
I have a tough address to get.
Do you not know Cody?
No, I've never met him.
Oh, well then.
I didn't get an invite, but I mean, shit. I haven't been around for 10 years, so that's fair enough.
He should have just sent you an invite just to make you feel included, even though he knew you weren't going to come.
Yeah, I mean, it's all good. I mean, honestly, other than yourself and me and you probably talk like once a year or something. Like I talk to Brody. I talk to Sean every once in a while. Like Austin occasionally, Ray occasionally. Like it's tough when you know trying to keep in touch with everyone.
Oh, I know. The only reason I talk to Nick is because we e-drink. Cheers.
Hey,
Honestly, you should
Out.
copyright e-drink.
Copyright it?
Beat it.
Is that a thing yet? Like,
I don't know. There's not very many e-drink hashtags.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, you can go on, you can do webcam stuff for anything. Stuff we probably shouldn't even discuss. But you can just start a website, right? I'm onto something here. You can start a website where if you're lonely,
Ooh.
you can just find an e-drink buddy. Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
This is a great idea.
That's genius. Like chat roulette, but
E-drink,
you know you're going to drink.
without the naked dudes, yeah.
You know what the problem is there? It's not going to be drunk naked dudes.
No, it's just it's known that you're just going for a drink via the internet. That's all it is.
No,
Yeah, but those guys who get naked on the internet, it's always them. Like they're like, oh, cool. New
I can
chance
get
to be
naked on another platform now.
No. Dude, what if we just had a e-drink chat room?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like you just go on there and you have your little profile and it's like searching for someone to have drinks with and talk about Moto, and then bing, you got a match and you can talk to them.
I like this.
Yeah,
in
so
a
it's just
non-romantic, weird way.
yeah. We can call it the bathhouse.
Alright, that just went from a good idea to really creepy.
Well, no, just a room in the it's gonna be e-drink is gonna be the site, but then we would probably drink in the bathhouse, you know?
Just stop.
No,
Stop it.
it's not. No, you're too old. It's not a site. It's just an app. You
We're
just
in
swipe until you get to the right bathhouse.
We're in the bathhouse right now, Joe. Welcome. Take your clothes off and enjoy.
Alright, stop it.
Uh,
Oh, but no, seriously, I mean, that could be a thing. I'm telling you, man, if you don't jump on it, someone will. E-drink. It's the next.
that's how I
Next
ended
thing.
up with eMOTOcons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like e-drinking would be a bit more popular, though.
Hopefully it's less expensive to make.
I mean, I bought your app.
I appreciate that.
The thing that killed it was you couldn't use it on Instagram.
You can't use any external app, any external emojis on any of those social media sites. Otherwise, you would see Kimojis everywhere.
I know, and that's why the whole world is social media bound now. So it would be tough to do a licensing thing with Instagram.
You want me to get even crazier? All of your phones read those emojis as like basically your phone just sends it as a code. So it's like hashtag, semicolon 3, whatever. And then your phone, my phone, when I punch a face in, my phone sends that code to your phone. Your phone knows what it is. Everybody's agreed on these, on that these are smiley face or whatever. Yeah, exactly. From phone to phone. So they may have different representations of a smiley face, but you're still getting a smiley face. So everybody would have to agree on all these things, which would mean it would be in their regular operating service and nobody would have external apps making emojis.
So you gotta be Zuckerberg or Bill Gates.
Or, yeah, exactly. I gotta be Apple.
I mean, so do it, man. I mean, I'm hearing a lot of negative here. Make it happen.
Listen, I've already started.
Oh shit! You've been called out, Clint.
I worked on a advertising partnership with a magazine, which should go into effect in the near future.
It's like, dude, anything digital is so tough. Like even drawing traffic for this show, right? Like, because everything's so instant now. Like trying to draw any attention from anything, because people just scroll and don't even really pay attention to what they're looking at. You know,
Robbie Madison got a bunch of people, Joe. No pressure or anything, but.
What's that?
I said Robbie Marshall got a bunch of people.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Because he was looking at him to get on and harass
him. In my defense, it's 12:30 at lunchtime here now, but it's not really prime viewership time.
All right, we'll give you that one, Joe.
They're on their lunch break. I don't know.
We'll give you that one.
But, you know, as far as your app goes, like, man, it would be hard to get traction to get people to actually pay attention to it, you know?
Well, apparently $2 is too much to spend.
People don't want to pay for shit, man. You know what it's like.
Oh, no one's on iPhone anymore, just you two.
Yeah.
You can't get on Android.
Yeah, because enough iPhone dickheads didn't buy it yet in order for me to justify spending more money.
Do they actually make phones that aren't iPhones?
Yeah, all the kids have them.
Yeah, they're called walkie-talkies.
You smug iPhone users. That's why Clint hasn't sold any emojis.
Nick's on his walkie-talkie right now.
I just never get it. It's like every time someone doesn't have an iPhone, I'll be like, "Hey, let's do that," and they're like, "Oh, I can't do that." And I'm like, "Well, why do you not have an iPhone?"
We're illiterate.
I never hear someone say something about Android phone, and it's like, "Yeah, this is awesome." I was like, "Oh, I can't do that."
Ooh.
Dude, my dad has the iPhone, and I have to translate it for him every day. And constantly I show him things, and he's like, "Where's that at?" I'm like, "You don't have it, dude. You got an iPhone. It's for fucking seniors. You can't do it."
Wow, his iPhone, they've been out that long now. They're seniors.
He's like, "I could draw things and text them to you. It's cool. Watch this."
Oh, man.
Well,
I better wrap this thing up here.
All right.
We're getting shut down, Clint.
Getting shut down.
No, I mean, you guys can eat drink.
He literally has a day job.
By the non-drinker.
Yeah, you guys can keep drinking. I just have to go get some shit done.
I don't even like to drink with Clint. He gets violent.
That's why Nick will only drink with me.
In person. Yeah, he twists your arm. I've been there. It's a good time, though.
When Joe drank with me, we used to drink Jim Beam by the half a bottle a night. That was me by myself, half bottle Jim Beam.
Yeah, yeah, you had all them Jim Beam bottles above the fridge cabinets. Do you remember?
Above the cabinets in the kitchen, they were lined all the way around.
I feel like now Joe's regretting telling all his riders to watch this podcast. He's like,
they all know I had fun back in the day. I got no problem with riders having fun, dude. Like off season, do your thing. You're human. Have fun.
Yeah, he was a freestyler at the time.
Yeah. So it's like it doesn't even count. Like anything goes. But I still get that. It's like you rode freestyle. It's like for a little bit there.
Yeah, you're making money.
Wasn't very good, but
was
had
that
fun.
a crazy time in your life?
Yeah, it's just you look back at it with fond memories.
It wasn't like you were wearing like LBZs or something.
No, I mean I had a pair of cut-off shorts though. I remember that.
He missed the LBZ trend. He come right after it.
I had LBZs.
James Stewart's back. James Stewart's on the pod.
Yep.
Oh no, it's just Joe.
Yeah, freestyle. I lost my train of thought, but we had cut down fenders. I remember I got into it. I was still at the cut down fender phase.
Sick. Nick still cuts his fenders. He rides Moto every once a year, and he cut his fenders.
Just because I missed the trend.
They bring it back. I remember I'd never seen a 75-foot backflip in person because no one was doing them in the UK at the time. And Clint's like, hey, train me over the ramp so you know the gap. And I'm like, yeah, sweet. Because we run different ramps in Europe. We used to run 65-foot mini super kickers, right? So I hadn't hit 75 foot too often. So I'm like 2 or 3 runs in. I'm like, all right, I got the speed. I'm like, I nod my head. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to hit it this time. And we do this little jump into this rhythm for the ramp at his old place. And he just goes, and just sends this flip. And I'm fucking behind him going, damn, what is going on?
Actually, he jumped it twice. I hit it once, I hit it twice, and I come around and I go, dude, you got it. And he's like nodding his head. He's like, yeah, I got it. You can see it. I was like, I just knew he was gonna go for it. So I just fucking
eyes like this big,
yeah.
like when you see somebody that flips and you don't flip. How I was, it's like right next to it. Like when I first started riding, just blow my mind.
He was like 20 feet behind me. He was like 20 feet behind me. I had no idea. And his first time off of the ramp, I pull and. I can just hear him going in the air the whole time.
Yeah, I'm just up there going back brake throttle, just trying to keep it in check. And I'm just looking at your sump bolt coming around. I'm like, wow, that was, yeah. It's funny the stuff you remember and forget. That was funny, man.
No, I've told that story before. Like not too long ago. I was like, yo, I was fucking with this guy. I was first hit on the ramp. That's it.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, man. I missed riding at that place. That was so much fun. Like before we did shows, like before any of that, like when I just came and stayed with you and we rode every day, that was like the funnest part.
Yeah, that's what it's about. And it ends up being like you ride the shows and stuff and ride the sketchy setups so that you can ride all week.
Yeah, and then you don't even want to ride during the week because you're riding different stuff every weekend and it's just not fun anymore. That's where I got to it. Like when I was at yours and when I was living at Brody's and was riding every day, like you had the confidence to go ride a show and just hit anything because you were so dialed. But then when you go on the road and you ride shitty setups every show and you don't get to ride at all, yeah, I lost the passion for it doing that.
Well, I tell people that shit makes you worse. It's like, see, and here's the thing of it. It's like you can get sucked into the show trap and then you make quote unquote good money, but it's only like it's like a really good paying regular job because you have to do it in often enough to really make a good living at it. Versus
you have to live in a van to make money at it.
Right. Versus the dudes that stay home a lot more and get really, really badass and take a lot of risks and then come out and do big events, which I think that even I regret getting sucked into the steady money trap versus really trying to become, do some stuff that people weren't doing at the time to try and become a bigger name.
Yeah, but it's all well and good saying that, but you have to earn money. That's what you tend to forget when you think about it. Like at the end of the day, if someone throwing money at you, you got to go make money.
Yeah, I think I was so young that I could have hung out with not very much money for a little bit longer. or I should have gone to California. Those are my two like what ifs. And I've had this discussion with somebody, and I also had him say, that's all good, and you can always go, I should have done this, or I should have done that, but maybe you'd have gone out there and knocked some chick up, or gotten into drugs we don't even know about.
My opinion on anyone's career is this: like, I feel like, that saying, like, I had it not as good as some, but better than most. You know what I mean? And that still holds true now for me today. Is like, you can always look at what the guys at the top have and go, man, I never had that. That sucks. But then the lifestyle that we've gotten to live over the last, well, for you, like the last 40 years, but for me, it's been a bit shorter. But you know what I mean? Like, you can. Everyone's got their own journey, and I feel like I was never a factory racer, and I was never at X Games, but far out, man, I've lived a pretty cool life, and I think you could say, every one of us, you can say the same thing. It's not the normal life that you live. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's dead on. At least for me, it does.
I think that being a competitive person, and I agree with what you're saying, Joe, and it's hard sometimes to look at it and see that when you're a competitive person, because you only look at the, people go, you're really good, blah, blah, blah. But I'm always looking at that 1% or 2% that's better. You know what I mean? And wanting to do that because I'm competitive. But I agree with you, and that's probably one of the things in life is looking at it and going, you know what? I did do a lot of shit that a lot of people didn't do, and I had an excellent time. I don't regret anything, for sure. I think you always, unless you're Ricky Carmichael, and I bet there's some championships where Carmichael's like, I should have won them.
Yeah, it's totally human nature, and I think the biggest thing is I've learned over the years that when I got into the coaching and the business side of the sport now with the race team, like, I get still very competitive. I'm like, man, I want to be like those guys. Well, I want to be there now, but it's like you got to be somewhat content. Not content. Content's the wrong word. You just need to be. What's the word I'm looking for? You got to be. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but if you spend your whole life comparing yourself to others, it's a pretty horrible existence. Like, you got to be happy with your achievements.
You're always gonna be disappointed.
Yeah, and you see that with athletes so often. Like, they retire or they step away from any sport, and once they lose that thing about themselves that defines them, they're not happy as people.
Well,
the one thing I saw watching your thing on YouTube was talking about, you're like, well, I noticed like it wasn't happening, time to move on. Like, you did that like several times. And it was like, that's I don't know, not for everybody, but like, that's how I feel. It's like, okay, got to beat it because it's not working. Next thing.
Yeah, you just got to be, and that's where, I don't know, everyone's on their own journey. But for me, is like, when is the right time to walk away? Like, even like, I made a mistake last year. I was like, I had some team bikes left over. I had some time. I'm like, I'm going to go race Supercross this year. Why not? And I was 28 years old, probably had no part trying to make a comeback to do it, and got injured and everything. But, I look back now and go, fucking idiot, why'd you do that? But at the time, you get caught up in the competitive, like, oh man, I can still do that. Yeah, and I don't know, you just got to know when the right time for you is to walk away, because otherwise you just get stuck with a sinking ship, I feel.
My girlfriend and I recently have been talking a ton about ego and how it forces you to stay into some things sometimes, like trying to race Supercross or riding freestyle for too long. You know what I mean? And it comes down to not wanting to not be a freestyle motocross rider, not wanting to not be a racer and just be a coach or just be whatever the fuck I'm going to end up being. You know what I mean? It's like, because you still want to be competitive and be out there and do it. It's hard to pull the pull the plug on some shit you put a lot of time into or you're passionate about.
It is. It comes with experience, I guess. Is that knowing when's the right time to move on, or it's the same with anything in life, right? But it's like I know I feel I'd struggle without being involved in the sport. I would struggle to be able to walk away and just do a regular job because I've done my own hustle for so long that how do you just go from that to. But I also feel like if I was to go start a business in the mainstream world and just do that, I could do that no problem because it would be something I'm passionate about. You know what I mean?
Well, as long as you found something that you were passionate about.
That's what I'm saying. Like you can't just walk away from doing what you've been doing your whole life and then just go to something you're not passionate about because it's not the way to do it.
That's why I got a podcast.
Exactly.
It's that whole mental thing though. It's like because it can, like, I never even got to any high level, but it can be depressing because you spend your whole time growing up thinking I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and then all of a sudden you almost get there, and then it doesn't quite take off, and it's like, it can be hard mentally to wrap your head around it. And I think a lot of like top riders who get to a level, same type of thing, or when they retire early or they get hurt too much. I think it's a tough one to wrap your head around.
Well,
yeah, and I feel like the sport, that's the problem with our sport because there's no real, like say football or whatever in America, you do college, you high school, college, and NFL, and they condition you for sort of life after football. You know what I mean?
Do they really though? How many of those guys are friggin' broke after making millions and millions of dollars?
Yeah, you're probably correct, but
but there's so many more of them.
Maybe it's just sport in general, but it's like you have to, as an athlete, think it's going to last forever, and then your identity is that athlete because that's the only way you become successful. And then when it ends, you really have to figure out who you are as a person, which some people never figure that shit out, and they're never happy.
Well, I get
what Joe's saying though, because like with motocross, no one's coaching you really at all. You're just like, it's just you see it and you want to do it. And then maybe you get somewhere and maybe somebody picks you up. Where football or something, somebody picks you up pretty much in high school if you're decent.
But here's my thing. Let's talk about, and this is kind of a downer, but the whole Mira thing. So I heard everybody trying to blame it on the CTE, which for sure, that's what I say. I don't buy it either because obviously I would have CTE. Hartman's got CT. I can name you friggin' everybody I know would have to have that. And I heard, and I don't remember who it was, but it was somebody that actually knew him, and they were. It was an extreme sports athlete as well. And when they were talking to him, he's like, "I just know that I have to keep goals and I have to work towards stuff, and." Yada yada. And I'm like, well, isn't that everyone? Like, isn't that the whole thing? Like, think about, we're talking about going from riding a couple of shows a year and not really being anybody and quitting and having to figure out what your identity is versus a dude that was the fucking man for a decade and called Wonder Boy. And now all of a sudden, 5 years later, these young kids are doing every single trick that he ever did because that's how fast the sport progresses, and none of them even know who the fuck he is. Like, how about that for fucking hard? Like, your entire life's work is taken away, and now what do you do?
I think you just nailed it.
Yeah, that's I think that CTE, the concussions and everything certainly would help to cloud judgment and put perspective on things, but when you're that like, let's be honest, man, to get to the level of a Mira, you have to be completely consumed by what you do. You know what I mean?
Obsessed.
Like you have to be obsessed to be able to get hurt that much and to take those risks. Like, I'm quite happy to say, like, say with freestyle, was like, I never flipped. I went through a couple of pits. I was like, the risk reward money wise, I was like, I'm not into it that much to do that. You know what I mean? But for those guys to lay it on the line the way they do is like, more power to you. You have to be completely consumed by what you do to get to that level. And then for that to, like you say, it's taken away. And then you got to figure out who you are away from all the glitz and the glamour. I mean, there's a reason why there's a lot of celebrity deaths and overdoses and rock and roll, musicians. Fuck, it's all the same. It's all the same shit. You have to go from living a life that is not normal, not reality, by any stretch of the imagination. You are completely disconnected from the normal world, and then you're thrown back into it quite abruptly.
I had a conversation with McGrath once, and it was super short. And I was just like, we were going back and forth, and I was like, dude, you're the fucking man. And he goes, it's nice meeting somebody like you that says that, or something along those lines. And that blew me away. And I'm like,
yeah.
Why
Who
does
doesn't
Jeremy...
say that to you?
I'm like, yeah, exactly.
Wouldn't everyone say that's Jeremy McGrath?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, the fuck's Jeremy McGrath? Give a fuck. I think that he's fucking rad as hell. You know what I mean? But it makes you realize, like, it's not, especially in our type of sports, that stuff goes away quick. If you're not in the sport for 5-10 years, there's how many guys come through the pipeline, and the fan base is so young that that whole thing dries up so quick that it's like, you know, there's nobody. I feel like I know everybody that ever thought I was anything from seeing my videos on the internet. Like, I literally am on a first name basis with them. I feel like,
Yeah.
and they're all older. They're all like at least mid-20s.
They're on his podcast.
Yeah, they've all been on my podcast.
Yeah. hey, those videos are what got me to your door, man. Those mixtapes.
I know, but that's my point. Is that, and I've had people say that. I've had some guys be like, "That's why I started," and I used to come home from school and watch them. But it's like that's already faded. That's 10 years ago, and that's like non-existent. You know what I mean? It's what are you doing now?
Now it's even faster. Look at Roxon. Look how many people have written him off now.
Well, they do
that
because
of the evolution of how you consume media. It's gone from, you know, waiting for a DVD or a VHS, and then it was like YouTube. Then, you know, now it's social media.
Now
it's
like,
just so.
No, it's like Clint didn't do a live feed today on his Instagram. He must be he's falling off.
Dead. I do it.
Well, you know, like, and even with, you know, with marketing, like I do a lot of that stuff, and it's like back in the day, I was like, social media posts, they got you engagements, they got you sales, whatever it is you're trying to achieve. Nowadays, posting on a daily basis doesn't get you sales; it just gets you a relationship with your customer base.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like that is a minimum now, to have a daily post just to stay relevant in your consumers' minds that you do what you do, whether it's a service or a product. And then you have to go above and beyond daily posting and find a unique way to engage with them just to be able to get some clicks, you know?
Yeah.
It's crazy
to think about.
It is. And it's like, you know, that's where companies are at now, trying to, you know, and even for you, Clint, trying to sell your app or trying to do this show, or for me, trying to promote my coaching or promote our sponsors. It's like, man, you know, a few thousand views on YouTube back in the day was you were killing it, and now it don't mean anything.
It's like Tinder.
Why?
Yeah.
We're Tindering all these fans. We need them. They're swiping through, and we need them to be like, I like this one. I'm going to keep on it and buy some of their shit.
Exactly. And, you know, I mean, those mixtapes you did at the time were, I think, they were original. You know what I mean? Because before that, the only media you saw from freestyle was everyone throwing down in California. And then when I seen that stuff, I'm like, shit, these are like normal guys that are doing this stuff. They put a whole new spin on it.
That's funny because that's exactly what Sloan, actually shout out to Sloan. That's why I'm drinking the Lone Star. He said the same thing, was why he liked us, because everybody was, you know, here's my thing. I hate everybody trying to be hardcore. Listen, we're all not fucking hard. When I have to be, maybe, whatever, I'll deal with it. But it's like...
When I drink moonshine.
Yeah, but it's like all day long, we're not all fucking hardcore. You know, so let's just laugh about stuff and have a good time. And that was our whole thing, was we just like to have fun.
Yeah, and that shone through, and that whole era was... I mean, I bet you everyone that came through your house and everyone that stayed and rode on that scene, you know, I was just a tourist passing through, but even the time I had there, everyone would say positive things about it as far as it was a great time in their life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. That was a good time in my life as well. That at the time when the house was jamming and there was just 12 people sleeping on the floor and on the couches and everything because they're at the whole house.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an amazing time. I agree. That was probably some of the most fun times of my life for sure.
Yeah, and it's like it's not a bad thing that that's ended. It's just natural. Life moves on. I don't think I could still be doing that shit. I don't think you could either. You know?
No, 12 years later, have 15 people in the house all the time. No, it would probably be
No. And it's all good stuff, man. So I think we could probably end it there, right?
Listen, you don't tell us what to do. Do you see this
Well,
guy
okay,
there?
but-
That's a
You see
good
this
positive
guy
note.
yeah.
I got some food now, and I got to use the bathroom super bad.
All right.
Look, I'm down to come on again.
All right.
And do something. You know, we could make it a little bit more of a. I don't know. I'll think about how I can contribute to this thing.
Well, get in line, Joe. We got people lined up for you're 2 years out right now.
I'm saying book me in, man. Like, show, what are we at? Show 9 or 10?
You're 11.
All right, so yeah, put me on like show like in the 80s or 90s when you guys have gone through everything, and we'll figure something out.
All right. Sounds
But no,
good.
I appreciate it, man. It was good to meet you, Nick, and always fun to hang out and talk crap, Clint.
Any drinks with
Well,
us.
man.
I will send you the link once it posts. I'll make it live right now, and then I'll send you a link, and then we can share all that. And then it actually got picked up by TuneIn, the podcast, and hopefully iTunes and all the other necessary places soon. So
That'd be rad.
Cheers.
All right, boys. Well, thanks again, and yeah, catch up soon.
all right, later, everybody.
Adios.
Cheers.